It's a great pleasure amidst all of you today to share some of my thoughts. I distinctly remember how it used to be an interesting experience on the first day of every academic year at school. Looking at those new kids who had taken their admission in nursery, the whole class would be a commotion, with the kids crying and wanting to be back home, and the teachers trying their level best to pacify and console them, right? And I guess that has been the case with each of us. We may not have known, but our parents, they knew that bringing us out of this comfortable environment at home to the learning world at school was what was needed to ensure a good future for ourselves. Yes, in this world there is a big drive for being comfortable. Everyone wants a comfortable job, a comfortable home, a comfortable spouse, right? For that matter, anything that would keep us away from anxiety. It's a protective layer that surrounds us, and it becomes more cozy when we confine ourselves within our current limitations and refuse to explore further, thinking this is it. I don't want to do anything more. People would laugh at me if I try something new. I don't want to do that. What if it doesn't work out? And the more we think like this, the thicker our comfort cocoon becomes, and the more we want to be inside it. But life could be tough. Things can happen that may yank us right out of our comfortable nests. And therefore, the more open we are to new possibilities, to diversify our experiences, and the more confident we are in our ability to deal with new situations, the more resilient will we be to the changes of this world. It is said, focusing on growth rather than comforts could be an incredibly empowering perspective. Stephen Covey said, if we want to keep doing what we have been doing, we'll keep getting what we have been getting. Hence, there is a need for us to make that constant endeavor to become the best version of ourselves by improving our capabilities. And there have been so many people in this world who have made that endeavor to go beyond their comfort zones and experience the benefits life had in store for them. Steve Jobs had this mantra, stay hungry, stay foolish. Never be satisfied. Always push yourself. Be willing to keep trying things which people say can't be done. Even the ancient Indian texts, they say, Uttishta jagrata prapya varana nibodhita. Arise, awake, and do not give up. So having said that, what do we do to ensure that we move out of our comfort zones and experience those benefits that lie in store for us? I'd like to share a couple of instances from my own life when I was able to recognize this situation. So I have here for you a simple 4-step formula which I have acronymed as R.I.S.E, R-I-S-E. The R in this acronym RISE stands for recognizing the cocoon. There is this famous saying which goes that real vision means to see the invisible, feel the intangible, and achieve the impossible. Speaking about my own experiences, it was twice in my life that I recognized my comfortable cocoon. People often ask me that, what made you think of making this shift in your career after having studied from IIT and having worked for this IT company? So this was 10 years back when I had been working for this IT MNC at Mumbai, drawing a pretty handsome salary. And things were going on, comfortable as the years were passing by. But life, it makes you think. I was wondering as to who are these actual beneficiaries of all my endeavor that I'm putting in. I had been working on improving some software that was being used by some warehouse workers in a far distant country. And I started to think, can I not employ my time and energy in trying to benefit a larger section of the society and in a much needed manner, more substantial manner? That's when I decided to make a shift to become a faculty of the spiritual sciences and help people in a different but much needed manner. And to tell you the truth, making that shift, growing out of that comfortable environment of a well-paying job and a settled career wasn't easy. But what I achieved out of it all was an increased fulfillment in my life and the satisfaction of having expanded my circle of influence to a much larger extent than before. The second time I recognized the cocoon was when something unexpected happened in my life. So this was 14th of May 2012. It had been 4 years since I had joined the ashram, had very nice seniors and very nice friends. Life was going on as I had expected, and to be honest, comfortable. Some people connected to our temple, they had been on a pilgrimage to this place known as Muktinath in Nepal. And we heard this news this early morning that there had been a plane crash in Nepal. We hoped and prayed that the people we knew would be safe. But the inevitable had happened. 17 of the 21 people on board, they lost their lives. And amongst them was one of my very close friends in the ashram. Things suddenly changed for me. Gone were those sweet exchanges. Gone were those times we had spent serving together. And that is when I realized that life isn't just about becoming comfortable in the company of people and things that we love. Typically, when we hear about such news of accidents and crashes, we don't take things so seriously. And there's a plenty of such news these days, right? But then, if it has to do something with our lives, it really makes an impact. And I began to wonder that life is actually about becoming more capable of handling those changing situations in life and growing beyond it. When there is a storm, the smaller birds, they stop flying and they hide themselves. But the eagle soars itself higher up in the air, above the storm, and waits for the storm to subside. Similarly, a little introspection, when done, will give us that impetus to rise higher in life and experience a brighter side of it. So that's about recognizing the cocoon. The I in this acronym R.I.S.E refers to identifying the opportunity. Once we recognize the cocoon, we have to be on the lookout for the right opportunity with a positive frame of mind. It is said that a negative thinker sees difficulty in every opportunity, whereas a positive thinker sees an opportunity in every difficulty. And therefore, when we identify those opportunities, it is said that one time there were these 2 shoe manufacturing companies. And they came across a village they hadn't targeted before. So these 2 companies, they sent their representatives for a feasibility study. The sales rep of the first company, he came back disappointed and mentioned there is no point setting up a shop there because everyone walks barefoot there in that village. The sales rep of the second company, he came back very enthusiastic and exclaimed that we should immediately set up a shop there because no one there yet has a shoe, identifying the opportunity. So therefore, when we look out with an open mind, with that desire to grow, we'll be able to figure out the right opportunities before us. In fact, it is said that many a times opportunities, they come knocking at our doors, but we complain of the noise. So that is the I, referring to identifying the opportunity. The S in this acronym RISE refers to starting small. Now, stepping out of our comfortable cocoons doesn't mean being reckless. It has to be done in an intelligent manner because there are risks and uncertainties involved. And when we take those small steps, we can keep growing from there. And the first step will be difficult. The first day at the gym is the worst. The whole body keeps on paining for the first few days, right? But as we gain momentum, it becomes easier to keep moving. So therefore, when we start small, it becomes easier for us to grow from there. The E finally refers to experiencing the delight. When we step out of our comfort zones, we will realize that life has a lot in store for us. We will realize that we are more productive than before. And we will be able to push our boundaries even more in the future. And when we grow out of our comfortable cocoons, we don't just benefit ourselves. That larva who comes out to become a butterfly is a gift to all of creation. And therefore, to summarize, R refers to recognizing the comfortable cocoon. I stands for identifying the opportunities for growth. S for start small to finish big. And E for experience the delight. And hence I say, enjoy exceeding your boundaries, because that is when you will realize that you have really a more fulfilled life to yourselves. Thank you all very much.